Well, it's been 1 year since an earthquake in Haiti killed 316,000 people, including 58 Canadians. In addition to those killed, more than 1 million people were displaced by the 7.0 magnitude disaster near Port-au-Prince. Well, tonight we have special coverage of the anniversary. Nick Dixon is standing by in Haiti and will join us a little later on in the hour. But first, more on what's been an emotional day in the country and for many Haitians living around the world. Today has been declared a national day of mourning, with banks, schools, and government offices closed to commemorate this somber occasion. A Fort Erie church that welcomes dozens of Haitians to pray there every Sunday says the anniversary of the devastating quake will have an emotional impact on everyone there. As Cindy Chordash tells us, some newcomers to our country are reliving that fateful day 1 year ago and say the images are just as strong.
France Antoine fled Haiti in May. He says he won't soon forget what he felt, heard, and saw last January 12th.
I saw everybody stop falling. Nobody can stand. Falling, I see the wall, house, and electrical stick, everything try to fall down. And it was terrible. Noises everywhere, people crying. And I feel it now.
He's one of the many Haitians who pray here at First Baptist Church in Fort Erie. Richard Pierre Louis was able to bring his wife and children to Canada last month. He fled Haiti 3 years ago. Richard translates his family's account of their earthquake experience a year ago.
And after, when I hear that everything shaking, and my mom called me, told me, go out, come out.
Ricardo's mother, Carolange, says their house was severely damaged, and like many other people, they were forced to sleep outdoors, where sleep wasn't easy. She says when she was sleeping in Haiti, she feared something would happen. People can be robbed or kill you when you're sleeping, beat you, rape your children. She says here in Canada, she can sleep. Here at the First Baptist Church, about 1/3 of the congregation is of Haitian descent, and many of them still have family members living in Haiti under a tent.
We worried a lot. So we worried a lot about our families in Haiti because we never know what's going to happen to them.
So they all prayed here today to mark the anniversary of an earthquake that may have shaken their nation, but couldn't shake their faith. Cindy Chordash, CHCH News.
And as we told you earlier, Nick Dixon is in Haiti. We've been speaking with him throughout the day, and he's sent in some photos of what he's been seeing, and it appears as though thousands, if not more, took to the streets to remember what happened to their country 1 year ago. Again, like we were saying, Nick will be joining us with a special live report from Haiti a little later on as we continue our coverage. As we told you earlier, today marks the anniversary of the earthquake that killed more than 3,000 people in Haiti. And we are now going to take you live to Port-au-Prince for our special coverage with Nick Dixon. Hi, Nick.
Good evening, Kate. It's been quite a day here in Port-au-Prince. They revised that estimate up on the death toll to 316,000 people today. Earlier estimates had suggested maybe only 230, but the Prime Minister Bellerive today coming out saying 316,000 deaths. So on the day, on the anniversary of the earthquake, it was really a range of emotions, and people were gathering all across Port-au-Prince and throughout Haiti at different kind of events, whether they were churches or synagogues or elsewhere. And they ranged really in atmosphere from carnival-like to one, though, that started with a very somber ceremony. Tears streamed down a woman's face at the base of the crucifix outside Port-au-Prince Cathedral, and she's not alone. She's one of thousands of people here for a public mass to remember the devastating earthquake exactly 1 year ago. Some mourned quietly, head in hands. This woman laid down on the ground, clutching her rosary in her hands. The ceremony included senior members of the Haitian Catholic Church who arrive in a stream of white robes which cuts through the crowd. So while thousands of people showed up to this morning's mass to mark the anniversary of the earthquake, the fact is they don't have a PA system loud enough for the people here to actually hear the ceremony. They're really straining their ears to try to hear, and the only time they know for sure what's going on and when they can actually hear something is when the choir is singing. Haitians are very religious people, but some fear the quake has changed that.
Tell you the truth, most people was not religion after the earthquake, everybody started changing.
Yeah. Is that sad?
Yeah, that's sad. Because they think God is doing the...
But others I spoke to say the time for mourning is over. Now it's time to get on with fixing the country.
It's time for us to put our hands together, think about less about our personal things, but think more about the collectivity.
At another memorial today, people were remembering the 25 who died in the government's financial offices.
We think about the families, their friends, and their relatives during today, because today is very sad for everybody.
This future park space will now be known as January 12th, 2010 Place. But today wasn't all about sadness. This crowd of thousands was singing, chanting, and dancing in the street right in front of the presidential palace. From the top of the bus, where a preacher was charismatically moving his audience, you can really see just how massive this crowd is and how much energy they have. And they are going to need all that energy because they are in for a long road ahead here in Haiti. Of course, 1 year later, still not necessarily that much different than it was when we were here earlier. Now, of course, today had some ceremonies early in the day, but also at 4:53, precisely the time when the earthquake struck here, killing so many people in an instant. Today, they also mark that, and that ceremony, those festivities got underway about 90 minutes ago, and it started with a moment of silence. And you know, it really was a smaller crowd than we expected, considering what we saw earlier today, both at the cathedral and also out on the streets in front of the presidential palace. Really not an enormous crowd, and it was kind of an afterthought, it felt like, rather than an actual sort of something really significant. We also saw some the flag lowered outside the presidential palace, trumpeted down, and as well there was a group of perhaps about 20 or so singers who started singing a chorus, some religious songs and hymns as they sort of marked the anniversary as well. So it really was a kind of an interesting finish to the day when it came to the actual marking of the time. We had been seeing on government websites that they were going to be releasing balloons into the sky to mark the number of dead people, but that did not happen. And again, it really was nothing like this morning, this evening. Kate, back to you.
Now, Nick, we've been hearing over the past year just how resilient Haitians are. Is that something that you have witnessed since being there?
Oh, absolutely, Kate. I mean, the one thing that it hit me hard last year, because I couldn't believe in the face of all that they were handling, how much the attitude of the people was still so positive and still so enthusiastic. I still see the resilience there. I still see the enthusiasm. What I'm seeing more and more of right now, though, is the fact that they've just lost the faith in their government and their leaders to help them at all. They know the international community wants to help them. They are aware of the contributions and the sort of caring that people around the world are giving them. But what they're aware of is that nothing is really going to happen properly because of the state of affairs of their government. Of course, their presidential election is still unknown, the results. There's going to be a runoff sometime in the future. So it's really difficult for them to sort of know that all this money is there, but it may or may not be spent properly because they just don't know what their government officials are going to be doing.
And Nick, when you first got off the plane on Sunday and we first talked to you on the evening news, you said that, you know what, things still looked pretty similar to last year. You've been there a couple more days. You've been telling us how the rubble's been started to be cleaned up, but also that this process of cleaning up and rebuilding is going to take so much more time.
Absolutely. Now, one of the things I heard today, and I haven't been able to independently confirm this, but I did hear that the initial estimate from the UN of a 5% rubble clearing, may actually be closer to 20% because the initial estimate of how much rubble was there may have been overestimated. So the amount they've cleared already may be closer to 20%, but 20%, that still leaves 80%, that still leaves 4 more years. That's just to clear the rubble, Kate. They've got a lot more issues that they need to deal with: clean water, safety for children, and getting people out of these tent city shelters where they're living right now and have been for the last year. The conditions in there are not good at all. We've been inside, and it is not somewhere that anybody should be this long, that's for sure.
Yeah, Kate? Nick, you've given us a great picture of all that. Thank you so much for your coverage. It's just been amazing. We will, of course, hear more from you in the coming days. Again, Nick Dixon reporting live for us in Port-au-Prince, Haiti, for the anniversary. Thank you, Nick.